Hello, welcome back, my Royal Rogues. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue, and I want to use this video to expose this attempt at racial baiting to smear not only an 83-year-old but the whole royal family, the monarchy, while William and Catherine, well, what a coincidence, they were in Boston for the Earthshot Prize. And this is what happened. I'm going to go through all the facts, all that we know so far, and what can we do to fix this, if there's any way to fix this. Only two people know exactly what they say to each other when they met at Buckingham Palace. So far, we've heard from one of them, but canceled the other. This was 2 days ago, on November 30. Sister Space, I'm really, her name is Ngozi Fulani. That's not even her real name. It seems that she changed her name, but we're gonna go with Sister Space. Mixed feelings about yesterday's visit to Buckingham Palace. 10 minutes after arriving, a member of staff, Lady S.H., approached me, moved my hair to see my name badge. The conversation below took place. The rest of the event is a blur. Thanks, Mando Reid and Susan E. Jacob, for support. And I want to point out the picture that she uses that she attaches to this update, because the picture is going to be important later on for a very good reason. Notice that she's on a corner, nobody's around. She has one hand over her left arm, protecting herself. She's got a face, I'm not going to say anything about her facial expression yet, but you will surely understand in a couple minutes. This was the alleged conversation. This is what she has claimed it was the conversation. Nobody has heard the supposed recording that exists, and we don't have any official pronunciation from Lady Hussey, but this is what we got. Lady S.H., where are you from? Sister Space. No, where you do come from? We're based in Hackney. No, what part of Africa are you from? I don't know. They didn't leave any records. By this point, it's strange that someone that wears like this was going to, I don't know, not be able to locate her records on her heritage. I don't know, but that's my opinion. Well, you must know where you're from. I spent time in France. Where are you from? Here, UK. No, but what nationality are you? Again, all this is allegedly. This is what she claims this was the conversation. I am born here and I'm British. No, but where do you really come from? Where do your people come from? And there comes the your people, you know that your people argument. My people? Lady, what is this? She was offended about, I'm talking about, your people, your tribe, your heritage, your ancestors. How do you want me to say that? I don't know, but again, this is the alleged conversation. Oh, I can see I'm going to have a challenge getting you to say where you're from. When did you first come here? Lady, I'm a British national. My parents came here in the 50s when, I knew we'd get there in the end. You're Caribbean. No, lady, I am of African heritage, Caribbean descent, and British nationality. Okay, so this was such a fallout on social media that Lady Susan Hussey quits over remarks to charity boss Ngozi Fulani, and that was yesterday. Yesterday. It was less than 12 hours later. It was an immediate fallout because this woman was claiming that she had been targeted in a racial way. According to the BBC, Miss Fulani says she was totally stunned by Prince William's godmother's comment. Yeah, and of course, the media has to say over and over again that Lady Susan Hussey is Prince William's godmother. Nobody mentioned that about Prince Andrew when he was in all these scandals that he was Harry's godfather, right? Of course not. The palace described the remark as unacceptable and deeply regrettable. A spokesperson for Prince William said racism has no place in our society. The comments were unacceptable, and it is right that the individual has to step aside with immediate effect, they said. I don't think this is right. Lady Hussey, 83, was a close confidant of the late Queen and accompanied her at the funeral of the Duke of Edinburgh last year. She was a key and trusted figure in the royal household for decades, like 60 years, something like amazing. And part of her latest role had involved helping to host occasions at Buckingham Palace. And thanks to, according to TASS, we have this clue. Seems the lady screaming racism inside the palace walls already had her thoughts on the palace being racist before she even stepped foot in there. It's clearly a setup, and royal family, Clarence House, Kensington Royal needs to investigate. Was Sister Space again. Harry and Meghan won't be allowed on the balcony. They're in a completely different category to Andrew. He's linked to sexual crimes. Harry married and had children, blah, blah, blah. Racism here and there. And this is her tweet. And she has categorically stated on Jeremy Vine that I have never tweeted about Meghan. Lies. Just lies. Thanks to Sally and Marky Meg for pointing this out. Alleged to be a gatecrasher too, so not on the official list, which is why Lady H might have been asking questions more than once. Okay, she was a gatecrasher? Salty Duchess says, fellow Geordie here, Ngozi wasn't actually invited to attend by the palace. She crashed the party by latching onto another organization who did have an invite. She is a very vocal anti-monarchist who has accused Charles and Camilla of domestic violence against Meghan. Makes you wonder. And other comments shine lights on this. Petronella, knowing Susan Hussey, who was the Queen's chief lady in waiting, she will be devastated. The palace should not have sacked her after decades of service. This will ruin her life. Yeah, that is a tragedy, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's more to this. Ginger Jones, after 62 years, she suddenly became an inappropriate racist when she just happened to meet a Meghan Markle fan with a grudge against royals. It's unbelievable. Least they could have done is investigate before throwing her to wolves. A quick Google of accuser throws up many doubts. And Baroness Brock too said this is not a metaphorical figure of speech, it's very literal. The rush-up dismissal of Lady Susan Hussey will be etched in history books as a big shame for the palace. Even if it was apparently on her own, Lady Hussey left on her own, the palace should have stopped this because this is literally surrendering to the woke mob. Something that, it doesn't work. It never works. They will always ask for more. Backstabbing an 83-year-old loyal friend and aide to Queen Elizabeth II for cheap popularity points is wrong. Kensington Royal. But we also have this. A friend of Lady Susan say that it was inaccurate to suggest that she feels the palace has turned its back on her. Indeed, multiple sources have told the Mail that she undertook to step aside voluntarily and was not forced to resign. A source said she has immense loyalty to the king and crown and did not want this to embarrass them further. Another friend added, Lady Susan is 100% being looked after. She is being personally supported in reflection of her age and loyal service. It has been hugely distressing for all concerned, and I know the palace is grateful for the way that she has dealt with this very upsetting situation. She continues to be helped by the unwavering support of her family. Her decision to volunteer to immediately resign her position in the face of such a difficult situation is being seen internally as an act of great service and loyalty. But we can't help but see this as we surrender to the woke mob. Whatever the woke mob says, we surrender to that. We have to agree on that. That never works. That never helps. Lion Pan and Ngozi and their cohort are feeling the heat. People caught her on her lies and evil agenda, and everyone is calling her out. Omid Scovey, I see we have entered the predictable turn the victim into the villain phase of the story. The gymnastics and lying some people are doing to excuse the racism of a woman they haven't met is wild. No wonder so many who experience racism or bigotry keep it to themselves. Shameful. Oh yes, of course. You have to do it, Omid. It's not surprising. Thanks to the Caribbean Prince for this. Ngozi Fulani went looking for racism, and she has bashed the royal family on her charity page 30 times. This was on purpose. This was a setup. This was racial baiting. She wore African kawi shields. It was also beautiful. The clothes, the beads, the kawi shells, and the stories. My connection with Africa became my lifelong story. Set up. Again, thanks to Caribbean Prince, stood on her own. Looks to me, Ngozi Fulani, you were having a whale of a time. This picture was taken after Queen Camilla's speech and near the end of the event. This is why she said mixed feelings, because she knows there was no ill intent and this is a setup. This is a picture. She was, you can see her right here and Camilla right here. And I'm going to show you a clip, a video where they are talking to each other. But first, before that, there was nobody to report it to. I couldn't report it to the Queen Consort. Plus it was such a shock to me and the other two women that we were stunned to temporary silence. I just stood at the edge of the room, hence the photograph that you can see here and the body language, and you know how poor me. Smiled and engaged briefly with who spoke to me until I could leave. No, that didn't happen that way. She actually thanked Royal Instablog. She actually spoke with Queen Camilla. Here is the Queen talking to her. She is a big liar. Here we have the receipts. Ngozi Fulani, or whatever her name is called, and Queen Camilla here, they are engaging and they are talking. Let's see. This clip is like what? 30 seconds. They were talking about 30 seconds. She was there, and yeah, Camilla was talking to her directly with illustrator gestures, and then, all right, was like 50 seconds, but you can say that you were on the edge of the room, like crying, oh my God, I've been treated so badly, I couldn't engage with anybody here. Total bollocks. That is total made up. This was just made up, and it's incredible that Buckingham Palace allowed Lady Susan Hussey to just leave in these terms. It is just not fair, and it's a very bad image for Buckingham Palace. It's the opposite that they wanted to do, or they intended to do, or they allowed Lady Hussey to do, to live like this, because it's like acknowledging that there was some kind of racial attack when it clearly was a bias. This is a bias attempt at racial baiting, and at the moment to cause distress on the visit of William and Catherine to Boston. It's a trap. Thanks, J.E. Duchess Marmalade. It's a trap, a setup by a racist, anti-white, anti-monarchist funded by Black Lives Matter group and ties to Dr. Shola and Meghan Markle, of course. Her name is Marlene Hadley from Hackney, but called herself Ngozi, dressed up in full African dress, and then baited an 83-year-old woman while wearing a mic. Ngozi Fulani always dresses to emphasize her African culture and heritage. Yet if she is asked about it, she feigns shock and distress, claiming to be a victim of gross racism. And my friend Esther puts it very well. If I walk into the palace dressed like an extra off the set of Black Panther, people might be curious where I'm from too. Can we just be balanced, please? Marky Meg and Evans E. There were at least 100 black women at the event at Buckingham Palace yesterday. It happens that the two who have openly supported Meghan Markle and accused the royal family of domestic violence and racism then found a conversation racist. Oh my God, this is such a coincidence. And it seems that, well, the connection to Black Lives Matter, and you know all that has happened with Black Lives Matter, all the true intentions of this organization. We are proud to be funding and supporting anti-racist struggles across the UK. Nadine Wright spoke with some of the groups that are receiving the first round of funds, such as Sister Space. There you have it. It's funded by Black Lives Matter. Canal Citadel. So Marlene Headley, a black British liar, appropriated a Nigerian name and culture, Ngozi Fulani, then got upset because Lady Hussey asked her where she was from, as she could not answer since she was appropriating African culture. Line race baiter. We also have this from Elizabeth Lisanelli. I will never forget for my whole life how Ngozi treated me, how she made me feel. It's worse than any other professional or charity worker. I was so shocked. I needed domestic violence help. She left me worse off. I got attacked. Went into a refuge with her not helping me because I have privilege. So let me get this right. But she has been attacked on the internet for attacking this Fulani. So let me get this straight. This woman can accuse Lady Susan of racism because that's how she feels, but I can't because that's how I feel. I do feel the charity refused to help me partly due to my race. Okay, that makes sense. That's how I feel. I wrote it at the time and I feel it now too. How's it label? And the plot thickens. Thanks HRH, Archduchess. Or there's much more to this. Please expose the connection between Shouty Shola, Scobie, Ngozi, and the Sussex Squad. Oh my God, I need something to clean up my mojo after saying all that in a single sentence. Here's another piece of the puzzle. Miss and Harryman. Oh, you sinners! This is from the amazing, the amazing Reddit subreddit Saint Meghan Markle. Oh, you sinners! I bow to your ability to smell BS from a mile away. It is Meghan's photographer bestie, Mason Harriman, who is part of the Sister Space campaign. Connect the dots to the CEO and racism victim Ngozi Fulani. This is not a simple PR move, no. This is a filthy political operation. They will stop at nothing to take the royal family down. You are not dealing with a normal situation. There are landmines buried months in advance just waiting for the right moment to detonate. The video shows this woman knows how to dress appropriately for special events, which begs the question, why did she attend an event at the palace dressed in tribal clothing and accessories with her hair in long dreadlocks? In my opinion, she was race bait, waiting for someone to ask the oh-so-racist question, where are you from? I suspect there are many players involved in the Royals Are Racist campaign and do not believe it is being entirely orchestrated by the wife. I believe she has the backing of powerful people who are intent on bringing down the royal family. I hope King Charles and his intelligence agency are on top of this situation. And if you wanted further proof that Miss and Harriman and this Fulani have been cooperating in the past, Sister Space, thank you so much, Miss and Harriman, every time you share and support. Remember that Miss and Harriman was this photographer who took all these pictures of Meghan and Harry, photoshopped them, have been publishing those photos as, oh, how a beautiful couple and such and such. Well, more black women victims of domestic and sexual abuse feel visible and come forward. You're amazing. You are saving lives. And Miss and Harriman says, one of the projects I'm proudest of is photographing and meeting the extraordinary women of Sister Space, a safe space for black women that are survivors of domestic violence. I have questions about that. Friends told the Mail that the 83-year-old former lady-in-waiting to the late Queen, who was retained by the King in an honorary role, has reiterated her wish to apologize directly to Ngozi Fulani. Bad idea. I, as the Royal Road, as the battle language guy, I'm telling you that is a bad idea. Because you can never negotiate, you can never apologize, you can never surrender to people that have acted in bad faith. You will make things worse. Never do this. You think you're taking the high ground. I understand that you might be thinking, oh, I'm better than this. I'm going to solve this with kindness, or kill them with kindness. You know that what they say, but it doesn't work. It does not work. It does the exact opposite of what you want to do. It will not work, and it will be even worse for everybody. And people have to know how to notice that. What are the circumstances of this? What are the true circumstances? And it's just one side of what happened. We have just one side of the story. Lady Hussey has never said her own version, and I think we deserve, and she deserves to say her version of the story. But what happened? What really happened? Because this is what the woke mobs does over and over again, and does that with the weakest link. They know who to attack in which way, and this is something that we have to fight back, and do not surrender to this kind of provocation and attacks just because you think you are taking the high ground. You will get eaten alive. You will get destroyed. Sources also made clear that, contrary to suggestion that the charity founder had not heard from them, palace officials had reached out through a number of channels, including Save Lives, the domestic abuse charity who invited her to attend, in order to express their profound regret for the unacceptable comments, and were keen to engage with her when she felt ready. The comments! She is the one that claims that those comments exist. And her interpretation is her problem. They are putting this out of proportion. This is gonna be bad for everybody at Buckingham Palace, at Clarence House, the Kensington Palace, William and Catherine, everybody. They are doing this wrong. I don't care all the years they have experience. I don't care about that. I just know one thing. The woke mob is gonna eat them again and again and again, because this will set a precedent. If they do this, this will set a precedent that will not end well. They will continue to do so, but it's clear that they have not yet heard back from Miss Fulani, who has given several media interviews on the incident. That's what she wants. Fulani wants to be famous of this. Oh, I am the victim here. That's all. Racial baiting for destroying the royal family and those media interviews. Prove me wrong. Go ahead. I dare you. Chris Rose, final words. I'm more convinced that Ngozi Fulani, whose real name is Marlene Headley and from a Caribbean background, felt uncomfortable with Lady Susan Hussey's questioning, because deep down she knows that she's cosplaying the African persona. By Royal Rogues, well, this was longer than I expected, but I would like to know what are your thoughts in the comments of this video. And remember the two most important words: much love and bliss.